Hello fun people, I'm Isaac Carlson, and on Following Dreams, I'm focused on exploring the stories of people who are following their passions and achieving their dreams. I want to help inspire you to pursue what you love by hearing how others have done it. Today I'm talking to a man who's become known in the Disney community as the person who is willing to try every Disney parks treat under the sun. In between recording audiobooks, appearing on McDonald's commercials, and showing up on The Office, his documented adventures into the Disney parks has allowed him to grow a substantial following on social media and bring him new magical opportunities. This voice actor has tasted everything from the fine dining at Club 33 to the many treats of churro carts. And no matter where he goes, he's always ready to share his food experiences. And if you'd like to follow him on all of his upcoming journeys, you can find him on YouTube and Instagram, which are all linked below. Welcome, Mr. Cheezy Pop, Max Glick.
Thanks, buddy.
Dude, you're very welcome. You got a long pedigree of stuff, so I was really trying to capture all the stuff you've done.
It was quite the introduction. Thank you.
Dude, absolutely. So, now that the audience knows a little bit about you, the first question I always like to ask is a big one. What is your passion? What gets you motivated? What gets you excited about everything that you're doing?
Well, I think it's creating stuff that brings people happiness. And it's pretty much the core of what I do and why I do it. So even on the hard days when it's a struggle to put out as much content as I do, and I put out a lot. I think it's just even hearing from that one person that, I made a difference in their life or just in their day in some way. So yeah, I think that's what it is for me. That's
awesome. That's really cool that you have such care and respect for your audience, that's what keeps you going. Because posting daily is quite a bit of work.
Yeah, I mean the daily, yes, I do post almost daily, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, it's a ton of work. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize just like how hard it is and how much work it is. But yeah, it is. So it can be a grind, and just to know that you're impacting a person's life in some way is, it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, to know that someone is through the screen listening to you and hearing your stories and seeing your excitement, because it really does come through on camera that you're so excited and happy, and it's so refreshing online to see people like that.
Thanks.
So I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And the reason that you're able to do all this and talk about this is because you love Disney. And so I heard from another interview that you lived in New York and drove to Disney World, saw Disney Channel, and your mom really loved Disney as well. What stood out about those experiences while you were growing up that really connected with you, or what did you really enjoy about them?
Well, I think, it's that feeling of anything is possible. Yeah, anything is possible. Magic, happiness. It's just, that's how I've always wanted to live my life. I grew up with it. Yeah, so as a kid, it just was like, wow, look at that. I've just always been fascinated by it. And the fact that you could go to a place, Disney World, Disneyland, that is all about that it's pretty special. So it was always special to me growing up, having those experiences with my family, and now, I keep doing it today.
Yeah, because like the shows and the movies, they're really able to talk about like the lifestyle and like the beliefs that you can have in yourself. And I definitely feel that it comes to life in the park, especially.
Oh yeah. There's nothing like that, because you get to like really experience it, firsthand when you're there. Yeah.
Absolutely. The cast members to the people running everything, even to the bus drivers, it's all wrapped up in such a beautiful experience. But how has your Disney experiences changed as you've gotten older? How are you able to continue to go back? What excites you about the Disney parks today?
For me, I mean, no matter how many times I go, there's something new. And I know, and a lot of people won't understand that, but I think the hardcore Disney people do get it. That every single time I go, I can literally do something for the first time, and that's not just like eating a new food that just came out. It's finding a new detail I never noticed. on Main Street, or, and I think that's what is so incredible about it, that I've been there, I don't even know how many times. And I can, like, the other day I noticed, something I've never seen before. I was in California Adventure, noticing all these like old Hollywood things on the side of a building, and I was like, wow, I've never seen this. I've been here so many years. No, never seen it. So yeah, it's that.
Oh man, especially since it's so cool because there's so many YouTubers who talk about all of those little details and everything. I remember before going to Disneyland seeing a video from like DFTB Guide all about that there was like letters that were on all the Main Street windows of people who like changed the parks. That was just like, oh man, you just don't notice everything every time.
No, it's you can't, and it's meant to be that way.
An experience unlike any other.
Yeah.
But beyond Disney, long before all of this YouTube thing occurred, after or during when you were super excited about getting into Disney as you were growing up, you also got into acting. So acting is clearly something that is a huge part of your career and life now. What led up to you going to study theater in college?
Being an actor was pretty much the only thing I ever wanted to do. So there was no other option for me. I mean, I did all the plays in school, and I mean, that was it. That was what I wanted to do, and so I was going to do it. And so, I mean, that is like legit it. And I went to college. I was a theater major, and then I moved out to LA to pursue it, and I still do it. It's crazy, but yeah.
That's incredible, because like it's so cool like to hear the story of someone who was so like single-minded about something and then made it come to fruition. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to do, and just worked really hard, and continue to, because there's no guarantees in acting, especially because I'm constantly auditioning for things. I just did this morning. I mean, it's just how it goes.
When you were going on that journey to become an actor, were there people that were naysayers against you? And if so, how are you able to block that out and continue forward?
I mean, luckily my family has been very supportive of that, because they've always known that's my dream. But yeah, of course, you get the outside family stuff and the friends like, well, what are you gonna do if it doesn't work? And it's no, it's gonna work. I don't know. I just always had a belief in myself that it will work. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing. It's like, no, this is gonna work. Yeah, because I'm pretty confident in myself. So.
Yeah, because you had the determination and the confidence in yourself to continue to push forward. And yeah, honestly, for a lot of cases, that's what it takes to do that different thing. When you were in high school and everything, and in college, what was your favorite type of role to do? Was there something that like really stood out that you enjoyed doing, or that you like discovered about yourself going to do that?
Favorite type of role? Ooh. That's a good question. I think I always enjoyed playing something that I'm not. So, a lot of times you get hired as an actor to play, characters that you are similar to, because it just works. So anytime I got the chance to play something completely opposite was super neat. Which it doesn't really happen often, because you get typecast into what you are or what you look like. So school is kind of the time when you you kind of get to play, I think, a little bit more, because in the real world you tend to just get cast as like your personality and your type. Yeah. So yeah, but that's what I would say.
I saw in one of your videos, I think it was one of your like day in the life videos, that you talked about how some auditions aren't even about like acting, but just seeing what you're actually like. Are those weird to go into, or have you just gotten like used to that's what they're looking for?
I'm just used to it at this point. I guess it's weird when you first arrive and you do it, but I'm so used to it now. It's just like, okay, this is what they want for this. So, like when I audition for a commercial, it's literally I go in, you get an explanation about what it is, and you just follow direction. And 9 times out of 10, if you follow the direction and you do everything they ask, and you get the callback, and I usually get a callback for commercials, and then after that, it's like they're literally just seeing if your type fits in that commercial with the other people they're also casting in it. So it's totally out of your hands, and you just go in, you do your job, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, you just see if you're the right fit. Try to convince them as best as you can. So, since you were so focused on becoming an actor, then was it very clear from the beginning, even though that you grew up on the East Coast, that you would have to move to California? Was that something you always had in your mind, that was like a very default decision you'd have to make?
I guess it was either New York or LA. And I just felt I had a better shot out here, at the time especially. And New York was more musicals and theater, and I just felt like I had a better shot to do the TV route. And then, YouTube happened too. So it's just like, yeah, I moved out here at like the beginning of all of it. So it's a pretty cool time that I came to LA.
Yeah, what year did you move to LA?
2006. So YouTube is when it started.
Yeah, because I saw your channel was made in 2006. Right. So that was right around when you would have went out there.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, you're an OG YouTuber, man.
Yeah.
You're around from the very beginning.
Yes, I have been. Seen it all change.
What has been the most dramatic change that you've been able to see over those many years?
Ooh. In the beginning, I don't think anyone knew what it was gonna be. No, I don't think people knew it was gonna be the place where you go to watch all of your things. It just, because originally it was just like a place people posted like random videos, and I don't know. I think if I would have had the foresight back then, I would have been a lot farther along now. But no one really knew. Then people started to make like shows and web series, and I was on a bunch of them. And then it was like, wow, okay, we're heading in this direction. And then kind of the web series thing kind of left YouTube, where now it's very, personality driven. You know how it is. So, and it's gone through so much, but I guess, I don't think anyone knew what it was at first.
Yeah, because you came from a background of appearing on web series like Lonely Girl 15, the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, and School of Thrones. What was the realm of web series like? Because that's something that I even am completely foreign to. Because I got to watch YouTube when I was in like 07, 08. That era. Yeah. I never really saw any web series.
I think it was a thing where you had to know or just stumble on it, because it was all made by, independent people, and then some of them really took off. Like, the Lizzie Bennet Diaries became this, like, sensation in, like, 2012, 13, but unless you were, like, really into, Jane Austen and Pride and Prejudice, you would never know. But that kind of thing wouldn't work today either on YouTube. So that's the interesting thing, because like programming like that, just, I don't know, that doesn't happen right now on YouTube. So it's kind of weird.
Are those similar to like YouTube Red series today?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, exactly. So we shot them like a show, every bit like a show that you would expect. But it was on YouTube, and I guess we were pioneers.
Yeah, you totally were. You were part of something that, really no one fully was going to be able to grasp how big it was going to get. But so that's even cooler that you were able to jump onto that project and do that.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to be part of something, like revolutionary. So it's pretty cool.
Early part of the changing times.
Yeah.
And you previously said that your experience on the Lizzie Bennet Diaries is what made you realize the potential of making stuff online.
Yeah.
What was specifically just about that really resonated with you?
Well, an episode of Lizzie Bennet would go up. It was Mondays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. And, like, when those episodes went up, the engagement from the fans of the show was just, like, out of control. And I was like, this is where it's at. I have to, like, you have people that are, like, waiting for this thing to come out so they can all talk about it and talk to each other about it. And it's this community. And I thought it was amazing to be part of that. So I had to figure out what to do for myself on the platform, once Lizzie Bennet was over.
Yeah, because your dream was to be a part of, or at least you didn't realize that a way you could go with being an actor or personality was something that would be so interactive with the people that actually watched you.
Yeah, amazing. Like, you don't get that on a normal, like, old TV show. No. That's what I grew up with, TV, and the episodes come on, and then it's over. You talk about it the next day. And just that instant feedback of in the community that it creates was just so cool to me. So I had to keep that going somehow.
Yeah, because I feel like that's something that I definitely underappreciate. Being a YouTuber and watching YouTube, is that how communities can grow and thrive, and how easy it is to connect with other people that are interested in the same thing as you.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, the people that you meet doing it, it's, when you can connect over a common bond, especially like at Disney, you already have something in common. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Being someone like in high school, like that's when I started really making my channel. There weren't really other guys that were in my friend group that wanted to watch Disney films and go to the parks. And YouTube is really what really let me come out of my shell and be able to verbalize that more comfortably than I ever had before.
Sure.
It's incredible. Have you had changes like that in your life because of being on YouTube?
Changes like coming out of is that what you mean? Like,
yeah, like coming out of your shell, or things you learned about yourself by being on YouTube, or by acting or something like that.
I mean, because I came from like an acting background, I think for me being on YouTube was like, oh, I gotta be myself on this platform. I'm not acting, like, because that's what really connects with people. Obviously, when you're you and you're genuine, and it was all about that for me. Because I came from a totally different background, so I had to just like be myself, like. So it takes time to figure out, like, oh man, that, like, whoa, I'm being too big here. Like, I look at some of the earlier videos and I'm just like, what am I doing? Because it was just like, hi, I am here and I am doing a show. Yeah. So you just get comfortable doing it, and you just realize, like, oh, I just got to be me, and that's it. So.
Yeah. I totally understand that, because I feel like there's totally times where I'm saying something and I'm like, I don't really need to talk this enthusiastically. Like, I can pull back a little bit, but it still has to, come through on camera that you care a lot about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, oh man, striking that balance is an interesting game to play.
Yep.
So you slowly decided over time that you wanted to pursue Disney on YouTube. What was the thought process like, or what was the journey like to make that decision that you are mainly going to be talking about Disney and the Disney parks?
Yeah, so like I said, after Lizzie Bennet, I was trying to figure out what to do next, and I was just like, what do I love? Disney. All right, let's go make videos in Disneyland. And this was in like 2014. And it just, like, for me, it was super enjoyable to do. And people started watching. And I was like, huh, cool. Okay, let's just keep doing this. And the more I did it, the more I got better at it. And, following grew. And I got to see, like, Disney vlogging become, like, a thing, which... because it wasn't. There were only a few of us that did it back then. And, now it's a thing, which is so crazy to me. So, yeah, for me, it was just, this is a natural extension of, my acting career and something that I can do to, just forward my career, keep myself busy, create stuff. And people liked it. So that's cool.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Especially, I think it's cool that you pioneered on web series and then you got to pioneer Disney vlogging, which just feels so like, it feels like a saturated thing that so many people, if you live by a Disney park, it's just something that seems so evident to try to do if you care about Disney.
Yeah.
So like, how has that changed over time? Like, how has vlogging in the parks changed over the years?
I mean, at the beginning, it was, you would not see anyone talking to a camera. And now, oh my gosh, now, I mean, everyone's trying to do it. And everyone's got photo shoots going on. And it's just like, wow, what happened? It became a thing. I mean, that's cool if people, I just, for me, I always worry because people don't realize how much work it is and then try to get into it. And it is just so hard, especially today.
You need a massive amount of content to be able to break through.
Yeah. There's just too many people doing it.
Well, because that's something that I love the Disney parks. The Disney parks really resonate with me. I wish I could talk about them all the time. But I agree that I feel like it's very difficult to carve out your own niche when it comes to Disney parks because there's so much good information that's already out there.
That's why you just have to have a unique take on it, like you do. And yeah, because you gotta, there's just too many options for people. So why do they want to come watch you over those other 1,000 people? So, yeah.
So you started making content. I love the humble beginnings of just making content for fun and exploring the thing you like. That's a very similar, relatable tale. Was there a moment that you finally realized that this was something that was becoming big and that you were becoming popular online?
I'm trying to think if there was like a video or something. I don't know that it was one specific thing, honestly. It just sort of grew very naturally. I didn't have like a viral video or anything. So it was just a natural progression for me where each, year's gotten better. So yeah, but I mean, it was a few years ago when I was like, oh wow, yeah, this is now part of my job. And that's cool.
Yeah, you're just able to slowly adjust to the growing audience and the people that were following you. Because you must get recognized quite a bit in the Disney parks since that's so focused on your content.
Yes.
What is that like to be going to a place that you care so much about and being recognized so much?
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, it is. It honestly is when you could put a face to those names on the screen and, they come up to you and tell you their story about, why they watch you and or their 5-year-old loves me. It's crazy to think about. Something I never thought would happen. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, I do, and I love talking to the people who come up to me in the parks. It's really cool. No matter how often it happens, or if I'm like I gotta get to my next thing, but no, it's I can't take that for granted.
It's something that you stressed from the very beginning in our discussion, that you care so much about the people that are watching and brightening their life, that it must just be so cool to have the experience happen so much. That's so very cool.
It's really special. It really is.
Beyond that, though, you've been able to reach so many people, and that's opened up other opportunities. For example, we met at Walt Disney World when we were both promoting Kingdom Hearts 3 for Square Enix, which was just probably the craziest experience that I've ever had. What has been your favorite opportunities that you have received from sharing your enjoyment of the Disney parks? And maybe even how did those begin to come about?
Yeah, that was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know that I could top that one, because we got a VIP guide around Disney World. Like, that's crazy. Right?
God, I never thought I would have one. I barely understood what they were before that trip.
Yeah, that was insane. That was pretty special. Going on that little trip there and having the VIP guide. Gosh, I think that's probably the best thing. So, and then because I get invited to like some of the media events and things like that. When they open up some new things. And that's awesome. But that was pretty cool. I've had some cool moments happen. Like the president of Disneyland came up to me this year, and it was like a fan. Like that's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. You're like, what? You? Okay. Yeah. So it's pretty neat.
That's absolutely surreal. Like, when Disney employees are watching your stuff that you're doing something right.
I guess that's good, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, was there a time when you were going through this whole journey of becoming an influencer, an actor, and everything? Was there a time that you really thought you wouldn't be able to keep doing it? Or did you thought that you might give up?
No. No, never wanted to give up. Never thought I would. No. Nope.
Dude, you're a steam engine pushing ahead.
Yeah, no, seriously.
You're resistant.
I mean, there's not. This is. I've just had to adapt to the changes in what I do. So where I don't get as many TV appearances anymore because of just the nature of that business, I have YouTube. I've got my voiceovers. So it's just adapting to the changing technology and the industry changes, and it'll keep changing. So I'll just have to keep adapting.
So what happens when you have to adapt? Is that something that you just have to start seeking other opportunities when you feel everything is shifting?
Yeah, I mean, I knew. I was like, boy, TV is dying, and I don't know. I'm just thankful I pursued this online because I don't know what else to be doing. Yeah. So, and I think that's one of the big things as someone in the industry to kind of see how things are changing and how you need to adapt, because it's hard. Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah, because for me, I've only seen the progression from like the rise of the smartphone and YouTube growing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen I haven't been in TV and had to shift to YouTube. I've only been in YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very interested to see what will have to be the next big shift, if that will be in the next few years, since everything just feels like it's changing so rapidly.
Completely rapidly. I don't even it's going to change this quickly, probably always. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a new pace you have to adapt to. So, you've been able to become a successful YouTuber and actor. You've been in a BMW commercial and star in the Nickelodeon show Zufari. But what was the most surreal moment for you that you couldn't believe you were doing while you were doing it during your career?
Definitely The Office. Yeah, definitely. So, I was on an episode of The Office, and I was a huge fan of the show, while it was on. So, then first just to get the audition for The Office was like such a thrill. And then to book it was like, what? And then to go on set and like be in The Office. And it was pretty insane. I mean, I was like doing a scene there, and I'm just watching Steve Carell, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, I like this is for real. Like, I'm in this. This is not like a show, You're like, what? Yeah, pretty totally surreal to walk in there, and because all those characters so well, and yeah, it was one of the coolest weeks of my life. And we were there for like a full week because it was such an involved episode, actually, because like, we were the Sweeney Todd cast, and we had to like rehearse the songs and the movements throughout the office and everything. So it was so neat, and they were wonderful. That the cast is just so cool. Yeah.
Did you get to interact with the actors that you like cared a lot about? Were you able to do that? Wow.
Yeah. When you're on a set, it's like a lot of waiting around. So sometimes you're just sitting there and chatting. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows that is just kind of like one of those legacy shows that I just feel like generations of people are going to continue to watch, especially with streaming services. So that's cool that you were able to make your mark on it.
Yeah, it's very special. Yeah.
Honestly, that's like such a testament to like all the work you've put in and all the determination you've had, is that you're able to get onto like such a popular cultural icon of a show and continue to blaze forward and do that. It's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty special.
So since you've gotten so far, since you've been able to achieve so much, what do you see as the next step of your journey? Where do you see yourself going now?
It's a great question. I would love to kind of have like this. I feel like this year is a very big year for me. As far as like the Cheezy Pop brand, it's people identify with it now. It's interesting, and so I want to keep growing that. It's hard as one person, as you know, to do everything. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. It would be nice to just keep growing this thing so that I can actually like hire someone to help me. Because, you get to a point doing this where you're like, I can't do everything that is required to, like I know I could probably be doing more things and making more money, but I just like, I don't have time. So I'm just going to keep growing this thing, and just keep spreading the happiness. That's the most important thing. As long as I can keep doing that, as long as I can keep spreading the happiness, I'm very happy, honestly.
That's great that you're in the position that you're able to do that. And you've got the patience and the resilience to continue to do that as well, which I think puts you in a great position since you've worked so hard for so long that I think you'll definitely be able to continue to grow what you're doing. Even though, ambition is superseding the ability to execute, which again, that's something I can completely relate with.
Yeah, you know how it is. Yeah.
There's just so many times where you can like look at all the things you want to do, and then it's so difficult when you do that to get back to the day in and day out tasks, which I'm sure is at a completely different level for you when you're making so much content.
Yeah, it's a lot. Right. It's always so much. Like after we're done with this, I'll upload today's video. So,
What type of like mindset or what type of structure do you build around producing a video on such a frequent basis? Like, how do you make sure that you're able to handle doing all of that?
Good question. I think I've created sort of a schedule for myself. So, I'll go make a bunch of videos. Like I just did a Disney World trip. I made like probably over 10 videos while I was there. And I know that's about like 2 weeks worth of stuff. And then I have a schedule, like when I'm home, my mornings are usually for voiceovers, my voiceover work and auditions. And then the afternoon, I usually edit my video for the day, and then it goes up, and then whatever else happens during that day. But I've sort of made a schedule so I can, as best I can, have a schedule, because there's really no way to plan for things. So, because like tomorrow I could be asked to go shoot something somewhere else. You just don't know. So, but I try to make a schedule when I'm home. Yeah.
Create that structure in your life that you're able to do the things that you want to. Well, that's definitely gotten you extremely far and been able to do a lot of cool things and continue to grow your career. Max, I want you to tell the listeners what you feel is the number one piece of advice for the last question that would help them follow their dreams.
Well, I think that if you find something that you love and want to share with people, go for it in as genuine a way as possible. And because that's what it was for me. I mean, it just came about because I loved something that other people loved, and I wanted to share that love. And I think that if you're number one, nice, that's so important. Just be nice and be genuine and positive. Like, good things are going to happen. That's always been my mindset, and I apply it every single day with what I do.
And that obviously has been able to come through. You've been able to impact a lot of people on YouTube and touch a lot of Disney fans, and that's incredible. It's been so great to talk to you, Max. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Well, thank you, Isaac. You are awesome.
Thank you so much. Again, you can only strive to do your best every single day. And it's been great to see all of your content, and you definitely push that message of being positive and interacting with people. I think it's awesome.
Thanks.
Do you have any last words that you want to tell the listeners, or anything else you want to say?
Oh, no, just thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And, you can check all my stuff out. I guess you're putting links in things. And, yeah, you can go see me, Mr. Cheezy Pop, on all the things. And thanks.
He's a great channel. It's very interesting content. I love seeing all the new foods that come out, get updated on all of that. To all of you who are listening, if you haven't seen Max's work before, you can find links everywhere that he is on the internet in the description. And if you enjoyed this discussion, let me know by rating the podcast and subscribing. Also, it would mean a lot if you followed me over on Instagram at Watso Videos, and considered supporting the show by supporting me over on Patreon, which will also be linked below. To all of you fun people who are out in the world, thanks for listening, and have a